Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
In the glittering world of music and entertainment, empires rise and fall with dramatic intensity. Few collapses have been as meteoric or as consequential as the one we're witnessing today. The music industry is currently gripped by what could be the most significant criminal case in its history, a case that touches on power, influence, wealth, and deeply troubling allegations that have sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
The billionaire rapper.
I'm a savage!
The once untouchable music mogul, who built a billion-dollar business empire, now calls a detention facility his home. The stark contrast couldn't be more profound, from private jets and mansions to a small cell, from hosting the industry's most exclusive parties to being held without bail, while awaiting a trial that could shape the rest of his life. This is a story about how quickly fortunes can change when serious accusations come to light. Before we continue, this content contains references to allegations of a disturbing nature. Viewer discretion is advised as we examine the complex case that has Hollywood holding its breath and the music industry in turmoil. The indictment and charges in September 2024. One of the most influential figures in music was arrested and indicted on federal charges.
Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
That sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. The charges include serious allegations, racketeering conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation for purposes of engaging in inappropriate conduct. These aren't minor claims. They represent allegations that could potentially result in decades behind bars. The music executive has maintained his innocence, pleading not guilty to all charges. His trial is scheduled to begin in May 2025, with opening statements set for May 12th. Multiple requests for release have been denied by judges citing flight risk and potential witness interference concerns. According to the federal indictment, prosecutors allege that the defendant operated what they describe as a criminal enterprise spanning more than a decade. At the center of these allegations are what prosecutors refer to as private events. The indictment claims these weren't consensual expressions of adult interaction, but rather situations where individuals were allegedly controlled through intimidation and substances like ketamine and ecstasy. When federal agents raided properties in both Los Angeles and Miami, they reportedly seized firearms, ammunition, and in a detail that made headlines, over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, which prosecutors directly connected to these alleged events. Since his arrest, the defendant's legal representation has evolved. One of his original attorneys withdrew in February 2025, citing privileged reasons he couldn't disclose publicly. New additions to the team include an attorney known for his work on other high-profile cases. There have also been reports that the defendant has been seeking to add diversity to his legal team, perhaps recognizing the importance of representation in what will likely be a highly scrutinized trial. Civil cases and video evidence. The federal criminal case represents only one front in this legal battle. Since November 2023, over 60 civil lawsuits have been filed alleging misconduct spanning more than 3 decades. The flood of allegations began when a former long-term partner filed a lawsuit claiming years of mistreatment throughout their relationship. Though this lawsuit was settled within days for an undisclosed amount, it appeared to open the floodgates. In May 2024, surveillance footage from 2016 was released showing a confrontation in a hotel hallway. This graphic evidence seemed to validate at least some claims. The defendant responded with a video apology, calling his behavior inexcusable and taking full responsibility for his actions. "It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life," he stated in the video. "I hit rock bottom. I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable." Following this video and the initial lawsuit, dozens of additional accusers came forward. Their allegations span from the early 1990s to as recently as 2023, with claims including serious misconduct. Many of these legal actions were made possible by New York's Adult Survivors Act and Gender Motivated Violence Act, which temporarily lifted the statute of limitations for survivors. It's important to note that despite these numerous allegations, the defendant has consistently maintained his innocence. Through his legal team, he has denied all accusations, calling the civil lawsuits attempts to gain publicity and financial compensation. His attorneys have asserted that their client has never engaged in inappropriate behavior with anyone, the high-profile parties and guest lists. The defendant's parties, particularly his white-themed gatherings, held from 1998 to 2009, were once considered the pinnacle of Hollywood's elite social calendar. These lavish affairs attracted A-listers from music, film, and fashion industries. Then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel hallway. "It was upsetting to watch," admitted one woman during questioning, before adding, "But I don't know the full story, so I can listen to the facts." The incident forced Combs into a public apology after the footage emerged, but prosecutors suggest this represents just one visible moment in a much longer pattern. Court documents allege Combs used fear, force, and intimidation over a span exceeding 2 decades. The charges describe events the prosecution characterizes as coercive gatherings involving controlled substances and male workers brought in for a specific purpose. These events, allegedly orchestrated entirely by Combs, supposedly continued for days with rotating participants. Due to the case's high-profile nature and potential for outside influence, the court has made an unprecedented decision: complete jury anonymity. No names will be publicly released, a measure designed to shield jurors from harassment, threats, or media pressure. One shocking allegation details an incident where Combs reportedly held a woman over a balcony edge during a heated confrontation. Another claim suggests participants were administered intravenous fluids afterward to recover from physical exhaustion. The prosecution's narrative portrays not spontaneous events, but calculated operations. Most troubling are allegations that these encounters were recorded without consent and possibly used as leverage for continued participation. This element transforms what the defense characterizes as consensual adult behavior into something potentially criminal under federal law. The defense strategy, reasonable doubt, and alternative narratives. Leading Combs' formidable legal team is Mark Agnifilo, a renowned defense attorney whose previous clients include controversial figures like the leader of NXIVM and pharma bro Martin Shkreli. Supporting him are legal heavyweights Tini Giragos, Alexandra Shapiro, and Brian Steele, who recently represented rapper Young Thug in another high-profile case. This assembled expertise signals Combs' determination to fight the charges aggressively. During a pre-trial hearing, Agnifilo outlined their core defense. Combs never forced anyone to participate in anything. According to Agnifilo, Combs lived an unconventional but consensual lifestyle where all parties involved were aware adults who willingly participated. Regarding the hotel incident with Ventura, the defense characterizes it as an unfortunate moment in a troubled relationship. Regrettable, but not equivalent to the serious federal charges he now faces. Agnifilo further argued that media portrayals have unfairly misrepresented Combs' character and actions. "I think he's got to explain it," Chu observed about the video evidence. "He's got to say that he's terribly sorry for it, but that was an aberration. That's not who he is." When asked if Combs should testify, always a high-risk strategy, Chu was direct. "We put Johnny Depp up because he was telling the truth. So that was a very easy decision to make. I don't think he's got any choice given that video." The strategic rejection of a plea deal has generated significant speculation. Does Combs possess information or evidence that strengthens his position? Or does he simply believe the prosecution's case will collapse under courtroom scrutiny? Either way, this decision dramatically raises the stakes. The cultural impact when icons face accusations. The implications extend far beyond one man's legal fate. This case represents a seismic shift in the music industry's accountability landscape. For decades, powerful figures operated with minimal oversight, their behavior protected by elaborate systems of silence and intimidation. Industry professionals watching this case unfold recognize its potential to fundamentally alter these dynamics. A conviction would send shockwaves through entertainment circles, signaling that wealth and influence no longer provide immunity from consequences. Public figures have already begun weighing in, demonstrating the case's broader cultural significance. Some question procedural fairness, while others support the judicial process. "He was too confident, too big," commented one observer, "and it was time for us to bring him down." These divided reactions highlight the complex intersection of race, power, wealth, and accountability at the heart of this case. Some see legitimate justice being served. Others perceive targeted prosecution of a successful Black entrepreneur. This dichotomy reflects deeper societal tensions around who faces consequences and when. The case also underscores evolving standards regarding consent, power imbalances, and appropriate behavior. Behaviors once dismissed as industry norms now face intense scrutiny through contemporary ethical frameworks. "Starting Friday, the real game begins," remarked one courtroom observer, as jury selection nears completion. The same could be said for the music industry's reckoning with its troubled past. The human element. Vulnerability behind power, perhaps most striking about these preliminary hearings, is witnessing Combs' vulnerability. The man whose brand centered on unwavering confidence and control now appears subdued, scanning courtrooms for supportive faces, requesting bathroom breaks, and admitting nervousness. This stark contrast between public persona and courtroom reality highlights the human dimension often overshadowed by sensational headlines. Regardless of legal outcomes, a carefully constructed identity has already crumbled under public scrutiny. Sources close to Combs report he was particularly unsettled by Ben Chew's involvement, interpreting it as potentially influencing jury selection against him. These concerns reveal the psychological weight of facing charges that could result in lifetime imprisonment. The absence of Combs' family members at recent hearings, his sons, mother, and sister, who previously attended, raises questions about his support system as trial proceedings intensify. These personal details remind observers that behind the legal maneuvering and media coverage are real lives forever altered by these events. The uncertain road ahead. As 12 jurors and 6 alternates prepare to hear evidence, the outcome remains impossible to predict. Will Combs' legal team successfully create reasonable doubt about the prosecution's narrative? Or will testimony from alleged victims, potentially including Ventura, prove persuasive beyond question? The answer will emerge through meticulous legal arguments, witness credibility, and evidence evaluation. Both sides have assembled formidable resources, ensuring a fiercely contested proceeding where no detail goes unchallenged. What's certain is that regardless of verdict, the entertainment industry's landscape has already shifted. The message is clear. No figure, however powerful, remains beyond accountability. The question isn't whether change is coming, but how far-reaching its impact will be. For Combs, everything hangs in the balance: freedom, legacy, reputation. For the music industry, this case represents a potential turning point in addressing problematic power dynamics that have persisted for generations. As the final jury takes shape and opening statements approach, one question lingers in the minds of observers, industry insiders, and the public alike. In an industry built on carefully crafted images, what happens when the spotlight reveals something entirely different than what we've been shown?